with this. Another thing too that I really noticed, and this just seems to kind of be a thing that I've noticed with Nebraska, is it seems like on those crucial drives where you got to have it, right? You've got to have it. They just shoot themselves in the foot. There's penalties, there's false starts, there's inaccurate. Like Casey Thompson goes like really cold at certain points. Although I certainly think that not everything is Casey Thompson's fault. I'm not saying everything is his fault. I'm saying, and there's certain times where, like I said, it's not that he's inaccurate. Like the guys out there are dropping passes. Gosh, what was his name? Let me see. I wrote it down here. Give me a second. Yes, Garcia Castaneda. That's right. I always get that one a little bit mixed up. But, Garcia Castaneda, he had 2 big drops in this game where, like, if he catches those balls, I mean, it's moving the chains, you're moving it, and you're getting going. But instead, he drops it on some critical errors, and they get behind the chains, and then they end up having to punt the ball back, or give the ball back to Georgia Southern, and it puts them in, sort of, it gives the momentum right back out of their hands and right back to Southern.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And that's like, I guess my biggest thing personally is like the last couple of years, especially with Scott losing these close games like this, and it's in the fashion, the way we lose these games every time. It's a different way, which makes it worse almost. I don't know, man. It just like, I want to see if we can just get, I know this is only, I don't want to say Georgia Southern, but I mean, find a way to win these games. I think you give the team more confidence, like that's like last year, not to touch on last year because it's this year, but how many times we lost those, close games against ranked teams, we play our ass off, and then all of a sudden, but I think that's like the mentality, you know what I mean? You take on your team, that your team kind of is like, man, I don't want to say you second guess yourself. I played football at a pretty high level. It's where your team, you know what I mean? You kind of take on the personality of the coach, and God, are you second guessing yourself? Because like you said, Casey Thompson, he has points where, God, he looks like one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And then all of a sudden he goes cold, which I'm not blaming him, and he's not the problem. But crucial drops, crucial penalties, and crucial times on big drives, shooting ourselves in the foot. I mean, and anybody that's obviously in the chat and watches Nebraska football knows all these times when we do this. And it's just like heartbreaking when I would love to see us just take that step forward and get over that hump, whether it is against Georgia Southern. You know what I mean? Tonight, if you would have made that field goal, or we would have stopped them more than anything on that drive before that and held them, to where they, was a 4th down, and it would have been over, and we got the ball and game over. So it's just, like I said, so it's tough to talk, and I talk about it because I'm still trying to digest this whole game. I just really surprised we lost this one tonight. Just after the heartbreaking loss to Northwestern, we played like crap against North Dakota. I kind of thought the team would come, like, hey, this is it. We got Oklahoma. Not that you're looking ahead, but we got them coming up here next week. Let's go into that game, 2-1 with a bunch of momentum now. And like I said, I know we haven't played anybody too crazy these last 2 games, but man, the win's a win. You'll take it. If it's ugly, it's ugly. It is what it is. I mean, you could look at Alabama today, for example. I mean, that was an ugly game against Texas. Texas, played unreal to me. I haven't seen Texas play like that against somebody rated that high in a long time, but Bama still got the W. It was ugly, but they got the W. They're still alive for their national title, chances this year. So I agree with you, Christian.
Yeah, I think, Scott's Tots, great name, by the way. Love The Office. Scott's Tots says, Nebraska has 0 linebackers. That's a problem with the defense. Yeah, listen, I think the problem is this. They have 2 really good linebackers, Reimer and Heinrich, should I say. Heinrich hasn't played 2 weeks in a row, so he's obviously banged up. They're having to move a guy in Caleb Tanner back there who's, again, he's more of an edge rusher, right? And it's that scheme that Nebraska plays. They really only play, and maybe it's a college football thing, and I haven't really noticed it that much, right?